Come back to the bench. It's RC time with RW, and I'm going to show you a little boutique product that's made by Generis Custom Metalworks in Canada. They make real rock racer parts, one-to-one rock racer stuff, and they're also into RC, and they have made a really nice transfer case. It's as small and as light as you could possibly hope. I want to show you just how nice this is machined. I'll get my hand right up in it and we'll catch it in the light. Look at how thin it is. Look at how ridiculously thin that case is and how sharp the bearing pockets are. Just every little part of it is just really tasty. Okay, so comes with some really nice hardened steel 32 pitch gears. These are 20 tooth, and it's a one-to-one transfer case. You put a shaft to one input and then it spins two inputs, so you can drive your axles. And it's for if you have your motor and transmission up here under the hood and it's going back to transfer case, and it splits it out to the axles. It's very simple. It's not at all complicated, as you can see. It's just put in these nice Avid rubber seal bearings here, these brand new bearings. It comes with steel bearings, steel seal bearings. I prefer rubber seal for something like this because if it gets wet or submerged, or if anything, you just don't want anything getting inside and corroding these gears. Okay, and then next step will be to get the shafts onto the gears where they belong. Okay, and it's really pretty simple. This is the one that gets driven by the transmission, and it goes like this, so that you have a little stub for the bearing to run on. Just like that. And before I do this, what I'm going to do is just put a dab of Loctite on each grub screw, because you certainly don't want something like that getting loose inside a case like this. It'll just chew up everything inside of it if it flopped out. So let's put one little tiny smidge of Loctite on there. Right. Come around, make sure we're right on the flat. Yes, we are. I like these big grub screws that use the 1.5 millimeter driver. That to me is the way to go. That makes sense. Now, before we totally snug this up, I'm going to make sure that the gears are aligned once it's in the case. So, and then you can see that there's a little notch for this to fit right there. And so it's obviously going to be going on this way so that you get equal distance either way on the shaft. Right? So let's get that one out. Put a little dab of Loctite on that one too. Just a little bit. Alright, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, we'll get it started again. Alright, we'll get it lined up with the flat. Okay, and like I said before we snug it down, let's get it in the case and check it out. Okay. So when you're doing stuff like this, there's going to be a lot of putting it together, taking it apart, putting it together, taking it apart kind of action. There's really no way you're going to avoid that. Now this is where you need to think about where do you want your shaft and where do you want your axles. And I want, since my transfer case is going to be right in the center of my skid, either way is going to make it off center to the axle. Just the way it is. But for my transmission, my input is going to want to face out one side. So since I know that, I put the transmission receiving spud in there. We'll just drop these guys in here. I'm going to put them so that I can get at the grub screw. Okay, gently manipulate that into place. I hope it was not out of frame there, guys. Alright, let's see. Push it through. It's got a little, because of the step, it doesn't like to go through the bearing very nice. There we go. How about that? They're lined up absolutely perfect. It's almost like I've done this a couple of times before, huh? Maybe. I need to get a new driver tip. This one is almost done. Okay, they're on. Good. Now, this is when you put a little bit of red and tacky on there. You could use different kinds of grease. You could use marine waterproof grease. You could use specific RC grease. If you like to pay $8 for 2 ounces of grease, that would be the grease to use. But I don't. What I'm going to do is, it doesn't need a ton of grease. There's only 2 gears in here, right? And it's going to spread the grease all around anyway. So be conservative with the grease. Don't get it everywhere. That's why I like to use this little rubber spatula. It makes it a little easier to deal with. Keeps my hands just a little tiny bit cleaner. Okay. Now, nice and loaded up. Don't need to do both. It's going to transfer to the other one. Okay. Get that pushed in there. Close up the case. Okay. And it's such a nicely machined case that it kind of snaps together and doesn't even want to come apart. Isn't that nice? Comes with lovely cap heads here. Nice quality cap head screws. And the side is tapped for them. That's really all there is to putting together this transfer case. I love this transfer case. I'm getting it together because I'm starting to mock up all of my positions for everything on the vehicle. So I've got to get this mounted to the skid. I figured you might like to see it, because even though there's a lot of different transfer cases out there, this one, over the past I think it's 2 or 3 years now it's been out, has proven itself to be extremely durable. And you can put all kinds of power through this. You know, if you're running extreme power, this would be a good transfer case. It may not be as scale realistic as some other transfer cases, but mine's going to be hidden pretty much. You're not going to see it. It's mounted to the top of the skid, and it's not exposed on the bottom at all. Yeah. Snugged up. Make sure it spins nice. Everything's free. Beautiful mesh on the gears. Everything's perfect, as you would expect from Generis Custom Metalworks. There you have it, guys. Another little key part of making your drivetrain durable. Right? You gotta have a good transmission. You gotta have a good rear end, good front end, good drive shafts, and stuff like this. Once you learn what parts work, it's nice to share that knowledge, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just sharing the knowledge. I've learned what parts work, and you can save yourself some time and money by putting some money up front and getting the real stuff the first time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting Mountain Storm with your views, comments, and likes. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel.